Well, listeners, there is a band coming back to Australia that I know a lot of you, including myself, are very, very excited about coming back here because for a generation of us, if you're my age, you grew up listening to this band. This band was an important part of our high school years and they continue to keep making great music today. But Ash are coming back to Australia for a very, very exciting tour, and we thought today we would actually get Tim on the phone to chat about this amazing 1994 to 2024, I should say, singles tour. Welcome to the program, Tim.
Hi, yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries. Now, mate, like I said, myself included, there are so many Australians excited about this tour. How are you feeling about heading back to Australia?
Oh, yeah, very excited. Yeah, we love touring Australia. It was, I guess we've been coming since 1995. I think that was the first tour we did in Australia. So I don't know. It's always amazing for us to like be so that we reached a place so far from our home in Northern Ireland. It still blows my mind that we can come and play and people know and love the songs. So yeah, so very excited really.
Definitely. What was that like for you guys back in 1995? Like you said, like that was when you first came here to Australia, but that must have been a crazy time for you guys, like you said, knowing that a country on the other side of the world was loving your music. How did that make you feel at the time?
It made us feel very cool. We'd like just left school and we I think we did a tour. We stopped off in Japan and then we stopped off in Australia for like, just a few days, I think it was. And then we were back in London. And yeah, it was just amazing. We sort of, yeah, okay. I guess I hate to say it, but we'd grown up watching a lot of like Neighbours and Home and Away and stuff when we were kids. So I don't know, it was always like a magical land for us to get to Australia. And yeah, it was really cool. And there was really cool music going on in Australia at the time as well. So you had like a really good like alternative rock scene. So I don't know, we sort of felt there was like cool stuff going on.
Did they ever approach you guys about being in either of those shows? Because I know they went through a really crazy time with those shows. Whenever anybody came to Australia from the UK that was notable,
Yeah.
they would be like, "Oh, do you want to do a guest appearance?" Did you guys ever get asked that?
I don't know if we did, like, but I think we got we were on Mushroom Records, and so I guess I think they were involved in the music for the show. So I think quite often we did end up on the radio in the background and things like that. So people were always telling us, "Oh, I heard you, I heard you on it." So yeah, that was really cool.
So, Tim, tell us, aside from doing the shows here in Australia as well, do you have fond memories of being away from the stage in Australia? Because we are such a unique country. Is it something that you like to do when you're here, get away from the stage and explore a little bit as well?
Yeah, I do love it. I came on a holiday for New Year. I think it was like 2019 or something like that. Yeah, I had a really good time like around Byron Bay and like Sydney and yeah. So I do love coming to explore. And this time unfortunately like the schedule's quite crazy. We're going to Singapore before and then we're going to New Zealand straight after. So yeah. So unfortunately I don't have time. Like I think we're playing Brisbane one night, then we're doing Melbourne the next night, and then Sydney. And so it'll be like almost like less than 24 hours in each of those amazing places. So yeah. So anyway, it's we have been enough times that I could sort of it'll just be nice dipping our toes back in for a second. But yeah, next time I'd like to stay longer.
Tim, you guys have built such a reputation for being an amazing live band. I know the last time you were in Australia, the reviews that were coming out were saying that you guys were one of the best bands to tour for that year for your live shows. Tell us a little bit about that.
Fantastic.
Has that been something that's always been important to you guys to not just be a band that create great music, but to also create a great live experience for your fans as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Like one of your earliest shows we saw was like Nirvana in Belfast in like '92, and we grew up going to like quite a lot of like heavy metal shows before that, and I don't know, we just always loved rocking out live, and the three of us, the three boys in the band, we've been a consistent like lineup, for like 32 years, I guess. We had Charlotte in the band for like 9 years as well, but we've got this like, I don't know, when we play, we're just really locked in together. Like that's something that's just been so consistent over the years, and I mean it's quite hard or quite rare, I guess, for bands to sort of have that longevity. So I think there's something about when the second we start playing together, it just clicks in, and I don't know, we enjoy it equally, like all three of us. We still love doing it. So I think we like to make music that is quite up tempo and full of energy as well. So I don't know, we like to get the audience moving.
Definitely.
So I don't know. It's just we still love to rock out. That's the thing.
One of the other things as well, like you just mentioned, your longevity as a band as well. We see a lot of bands come to Australia that were big in the 90s or the early 2000s, and they kind of just rest on their laurels and play tracks from back then. But you guys are still doing music and have been releasing albums right up to like even last year. Does that change how you go about your set list as well? Because you do have all those past hits, but you've also got amazing new stuff as well.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's important for us to like keep making new music. I think it sort of keeps a set fresh. Whenever it's kind of a challenge when we're writing the new songs. Is like, is this gonna like stand up against the old stuff? Is this gonna be able to knock like an old song out of a set? Or, it has to like, we sort of set that standard for ourselves. And my favorite days in the band really are the days when we're like jamming new stuff, and we're, that it just reminds me of like when we were 15 starting the band and like trying new songs, trying to kick new songs into shape. And we still get a big buzz from that, and we're working on new material at the minute. Actually, we're like recording a bunch of new stuff that'll come out next year, hopefully. So yes, and the last album, like Race the Night, that was like just full of songs that were great to play live as well. So we'll be throwing a few of those in hopefully on the set tour.
Yeah. So how do you work out your set list, especially when you come to a country like Australia that you don't get to visit that often?
Yeah, well, I guess there's always a certain batch of songs. There's almost like an hour of material that we almost feel like we have to play. All the old singles and hits that people love. So yeah, there's a bunch of songs that are just in the like no-brainer category, and then we play around. Things that are like, maybe there's something that wasn't like a hit but is like great live and goes down really well live. So those songs will get in as well. And maybe there's something new that we're sort of excited about playing as well. It's a bit of a mix. And and I guess it depends what. Sometimes there's like an anniversary coming up, so it's like fun to play songs from that are hitting like 30 years old. Like some of our debut mini album is 30 years old this year, so it'd be good to play like our first few singles. And we're doing this is like a kind of singles tour we're doing anyway, so I don't know. There's even temptations to do things like maybe we'll play chronologically a load of singles, because it's the singles tour. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah, that's sort of the thought process that goes on.
How does that make you feel, knowing that this is the 30th anniversary? Because, of course, so many bands these days seem to come and go so quickly. They'll have one or two albums and then they disappear. What does it feel like for you, knowing that you've been doing this now for 30 years? That must be something that makes you feel quite proud. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it's I always thought I'm kind of getting away with something by getting to be a musician when I was young, and it's sort of. It's got to the point where I'm still getting away with it. This is amazing, and those songs have stood the test of time. Really, we're sort of seeing that more and more. As time goes on, they still connect with new people as well, and so I guess I feel very, very lucky and proud as well.
And going right back as well, like, as I said in the intro, for me, 1977 is still one of my favourite albums. It was an album that came out in my second last year at high school, and it was one of those albums where you sat down to listen to it, and every song spoke to you. Like, I still remember the girl I had a crush on, and I would listen to Oh Yeah and think of her. But
Yeah.
what was that like for you guys? You guys were fresh out of school yourselves, and you'd written this album that seemed to capture the imagination and the voice of a whole generation. What was that like for you guys back then?
Oh, it's cool. I guess we were 18, 19 years old at the time, and our fan base was really young as well. I guess they could see that we were the same age, and doing out there doing it, and but I guess I was singing about the things that everyone was going through as well. To really like first love, and I don't know, just all the confusion of being a young adult. So yeah, it kind of is like a bit of a coming of age album in a way, and that's what a lot of our audience was going through too. So yeah, and I guess now it's like got a real nostalgia about it, because people who grew up with it look back, and music has this strange power of being able to transport you back to where you were, the first time you heard it. So that's one really cool thing about playing those songs still.
Yeah. Oh, look, that memory is still so vivid for me. I still remember that one of my best friends from high school said, "You've got to listen to this album," and he pulled it out at when we were at his house and put it on, and it was like you just instantly fell in love with it. But for you guys, did you know back then that it was something special that would last the time like that, or did you have no idea?
I guess we had no idea. It was made under quite a lot of pressure. So I was just like trying to think of making the best record possible, but also like I was, experiencing so much new stuff and like discovering so much new music that there's, I was kind of excited as well to like get all these influences into this record. And and we were working with a great producer. We worked with Owen Morris, who produced the Oasis stuff. So we. Yeah, it was kind of a cool time, but I was trying to like live up to some of the first singles that had come up before the album, even before we started recording the album. We put out like Kung Fu and Girl from Mars, so I was just trying to like make an album that was full of songs as good as that, as those two. I was trying to like live up to those, and so yeah, it was. I guess we were putting pressure on ourselves, and but at the same time we were excited about our new fans' kind of skills, and we were getting better at playing because we were starting to tour quite a lot as well. So yeah, it was. I don't know. I guess you hear that excitement and sort of this excitement that developing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like I think, like as you said, that also you noticed the change then on Nuclear Sounds as well. And as you guys moved on, there was like a maturity going through, and I guess a lot of your fans here in Australia feel like they've kind of grown up with you guys as well. But going back to then, if someone had said to you that in 30 years' time there would still be a legion of Ash fans hanging out for an Australian tour, what would you have said to them?
Yeah, I would have been amazed, and maybe I would have relaxed a bit because I was always like so stressed. Those making those albums those first few years, like it's it was quite. Even then, it was quite a cutthroat industry and like quite hard to survive. So, yeah, there was. I guess when we put out Nuclear Sounds, and in a lot of places it didn't do as well as 1977. So, we're kind of lucky that we came back. We had another hit with the following album, Free All Angels, but a lot of our kind of peers sort of got dropped by the record labels around that time and disappeared. So, yeah, I don't know. We sort of had a will to survive, like the eye of a tiger.
Well, we're certainly glad that you guys did survive. I know we're running out of time very quickly, but I have two quick questions I wanted to ask. First of all, you said you're working on new material right now. Can we expect a new album next year, or what's the plans for that?
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to come out next year. Yeah, it's just. I'll probably start finishing songs up in November, so hopefully that would lead to like a release like early, maybe like spring next year, or UK spring that is. And I guess your autumn.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, hopefully, it's a bunch of exciting new material. So
awesome.
I don't know, if there's anything really good, maybe we'll try it out on the tour. But yeah, let's see.
Awesome. Well, mate, to finish off, what would you like to say to all the fans out there that have already got tickets or are thinking about buying tickets for these shows? Do you have a special message for them?
Yeah, just thanks for everyone who's bought tickets, and we can't wait to see you. It's actually not too long since we came back last time, but we'll be back with as much energy as always, and yeah, it's going to be great shows.